Get with the nerd, okay?
Revelations, you know what I mean? Shit like an immovable object needs an.
This man took me on a date to go watch the new Demon Slayer movie.
Not that anyone cares. Y'all, this man explained what a fucking curse technique was to me.
Data nerd. I cannot express this enough. Data nerd.
If this is the only advice you take from me, I will be very happy. I'm here to persuade you to date the smart, the nerdy guys. I know.
Looks like a cupcake. Will put you.
Date the athlete, but marry the nerd. Date the athlete, but marry the nerd. Because the nerd ain't gonna be out all hours of the night.
I think it's so much easier dating somebody who's a nerd because you know.
It's day 60.
I like nerds.
A lot of the guys I've been dating recently are proper nerds, and I love it.
POV, you fell in love with a nerd disguised as a bad boy.
Line up your knife, cut it cleanly in half.
You know, back when
I'll make this real quick and brief because my last video was long. Date you a nerd. Yeah, I ain't like.
On mini.
Even the even the gay guys jumping on the nerds. Oh my god. Okay.
On occasions, I have
You know what I mean?
POV.
When people tell you to date a nerd, they are not talking about the one.
Dating an introverted nerd feels.
As he did things to my body that I didn't know my body.
Okay. What's up, guys? This is Jason of Auglitical. I swim through the politics and duck and dive throughout the relationships so you don't drown too. I'm just a man just trying to bring common sense in a world where common sense isn't so common. So, I believe yesterday I covered a subject of a woman sitting there and exposing herself a proper throat, in which she was sitting there and she was claiming and boasting and bragging as well as emasculating the man, her husband, that she was currently with by reminiscing by the fireplace that she brags about he built for her while drinking an old-fashioned, about the men, the busty dusty dudes that she used to fuck who had dirty socks and slides on. And she admitted that she missed those times and she enjoyed those times. And I covered this story, but I didn't think it was as bad as what I'm currently discovering, because apparently this is another one of these things where you have these low quality women who are just following. And the thing is, just like how I posted recently, you have these white girls all of a sudden now they're all goth, even though they're not goth, but they claim that they're goth, and it's just funneling to their OnlyFans. And what you have these girls who seem to be devoid of any personality, just following each other. Let's put our tits out and put on some black makeup, and let's vulture off of something that we don't know nothing about, because this is the quick way to make us stand out. And just disrespectful to what it means to be goth / emo / rocker, whatever the fuck it is. Well, apparently there's this trend going on, apparently, where you have girls talking about let's go after the nerds. You know, the guys who they overlooked for the most part, the guys who they disrespected, spit on them, bullied them in school or whatever like that, never gave them the time of day, even if they were good individuals. Now all of a sudden there's this trend of this. And it's funny that they're sitting here and they're saying, go for the nerds. Because nerds, they're purposely saying nerds. And the funny thing is, there's a big, massive difference between a nerd and a geek. This is another word that you're probably going to sit there and go, wait a second. Why are they saying nerds? Do they also mean geeks? No. They purposely mean nerd, because for those of you that don't know the difference between a nerd and a geek, right? Because there is a massive difference. And why it seems as though they're going after these men. They're going after these socially awkward men because nerds tend to be individuals who are socially not accepted, or they're so into what they're into that they don't pay attention to a lot of things on the outside. And this is what opens them up to being bullied. They don't pick up on societal cues properly a lot of times, or maybe a lot of them just don't care, right? I was a geek growing up. Now, a geek and a nerd, typically a nerd would probably be more intelligent because they seek out those intellectual avenues of information and stuff like this. They want to be the best. They don't really care about how it looks to other people. If it looks, if you look, like a loser, they don't care about that. While a geek is a little bit more natural about it, right? Another example for the geek, the nerd trope is the Big Bang Theory. I haven't watched enough of that show, but I think I get the gist of it. I know that it's probably poorly executed. Sheldon is the nerd out of the group, and he has other friends who are geeks. Now, to everybody on the outside, they will see them all as one and the same. But if you notice, Sheldon bumps heads a lot with the geeks, and Sheldon doesn't really care about being socially accepted by the outside groups, while the other guys all for some reason are trying to get girls or socially be accepted while still maintaining, which is weird because typically a geek doesn't really need to do any of those things. They just either work up the affinity for the things that they like or the passions that they like. You know, you don't gotta be super into computers to know how a computer works once you really work with it for a long time. Congratulations, you're a fucking geek, right? You know about shit that the normies don't know about. Congratulations, you're a geek. That show's probably really bad at explaining that or actually showing that properly. But that's an example. Yes. So if you sat down with a nerd and a geek and asked them a question like, "May the force be," right? The geek will say, "With you," right? While the nerd will say mass times acceleration or some shit like this, right? Uh, a nerd is somebody who, again, crunching numbers and X, Y, and Z, while a geek is somebody literally like Henry Cavill, a person who, again, passionate about what they like, could probably tell you a bunch of shit about what they like. It doesn't necessarily mean that the geek is dumber than the nerd or anything like that. That's not exactly what it means. A lot of times, a lot of geeks are just people who are into shit before the normies make the thing mainstream. Video gaming, just that's the way that it goes. And a lot of these women are purposely going after these or trying to make a trend now because, of course, they're fucking losers of going after men purposely. And I believe that what it is that they're trying to take advantage of these men or find submissive men to run their game while they're still running their game. Right. So yesterday there was a video that I showed you guys of a woman, like I said, completely out of fucking line on social media, basically emasculating her men, reminiscing about getting taken to Pound Town by dudes who can't even afford proper attire. Right. But it gets worse because her entire page is shit like this.
Every happily married woman I know is a man eater. Like, we hold the bulls in our hands. We hate men. We can't stand them. Why are you speaking? Why are you talking? Happily married. So, get meaner. That's my advice. Get meaner. Be a horrible Ursula, down dog, man-hating bitch. If you want to be happily married. I don't know what to tell you. That's all I got. Like, I'm at home. Unpacking a Costco haul. Doing nothing, really. That's my little advice to you.
Now, mind you, if every single time I come into contact with content like this, I immediately have to sit there and say to myself, is this fake? Is this possibly that we're getting our legs pulled here, right? But everything that I'm finding, all her responses, the videos that she makes, it proves otherwise. And it's not really is it really surprising? Is it really surprising that this content exists? And I'll go even further. Mean Girls content, right? I know that the way that the feminist spheres work, because there's just like there's a manosphere, there's a feminist sphere, or whatever the fuck it is. Just as much as they complain about the Andrew Tate or any other group of dudes who, mind you, piece of shit, Andrew Tate, all of that shit. Any dude who's going around boasting about being a piece of shit in a relationship or telling men to be pieces of shit are not people that men should be following. Full stop. I have absolutely no problem saying this because it's true. Any woman following behind content like what this creator's pushing out, right, is an asshole and nobody should be following them. Full stop. It's poison. But the thing is, mean girl content has existed for such a long time unchecked. No one said nothing because in their world, it's normal. But the second men start to do it, now we need to have a talk and we need to fix young men and stop them from following, which, by the way, again, both sides, both wrong. But you will never, ever, ever. We need to have a talk with young women following Cardi B or following these rappers like Meg Thee Stallion or Miley Cyrus or any of these other what was this girl's name? Sabrina Carpenter, who sits there and her whole platform is talking about hating men. We need to come together and stop it. You'll never hear that. You'll never hear that. So this lady's entire page is full about man hating and misandry. This is what she peddles. And again, this is not the first time that I've come across content in which you see women regurgitating this shit and making content. Remember, there was a video of some chick who was talking about how she has two kids with one guy, and he has his own kids, and she doesn't do anything she doesn't make him food when he comes home, and this man is sitting here working on power lines like 200 feet off the fucking ground. Yeah, this is really bad. But look at this. Girl, I'm following you because the fact that you said the dirty socks and the slippers, yuck, but I love the upgrade. So, what are they talking about here? So in this video that I covered just yesterday, this woman, again, was sitting and talking about how she used to get fucked by dudes who pretty much didn't give a shit about her. Basically the fly boys, the fuck boys, right? The fuck boys. And then she was also talking about how now she's drinking good and her husband's putting their kids to sleep, and she's sitting by a fireplace that he made her. Date the nerd, right? Marry the nerd. First and foremost, I'm gonna just sit here and say this: any man worth their grain of salt should not allow this disrespect. And this is all that I've been saying on this channel, right? I judge people based on the individual. It's not all women, but as men, you need to be able to see the red flags. And they're not hard to spot. They're not. This woman didn't just start acting like this. Now, if there is a case in which a guy or a girl gets in a relationship and there's a sudden shift in a person's behavior that was unpredictable, you can't be blamed for that. But if you've been messing with somebody for over 10 years and now your ass got 2 kids with them, that's your fault for not picking up on the signs. I ain't saying every red flag is game over, but those flags add up. At some point, you got to be like, hey, nah, I'm good. You ain't worth it. But then again, they're purposely looking. Anyway, so she said, but I love the upgrade. This is what a commenter said to her. And she says, I mean, the sex was fun. Can't knock it. Any dude would see their chick saying some shit like that, see their chick posting some shit like this, one time would be enough. This is her whole entire page. Meadow Holmes says, 100% agree. My husband looks at me with just the teeniest bit of hope and terror in his eyes. Why the fuck do you think that that's normal? Do you think that that's cute? We've all, well, I don't know about all of us, but we've seen people in relationships where it's always they're fighting, right? Who wants to be in that situation? I know you guys seen the videos of these dudes in which the woman's trying to understand why they live in a nice house and it's warm in the house and the guy rather stay in the garage and just look at TV in the cold somewhere instead of be around her. Why would anyone want that? Why would anybody want to put themselves? My water cup is always full, and he always brings me a Coke on his way from work. And when I snuggle onto him and tell him what a good job he's doing, he does taking care of me, his entire body relaxes, and he literally swells with pride. Exactly, the program to keep him on. 56 likes. Man. We need to start respecting it. We need to start respecting each other. We need to start respecting ourselves more than this. We need to do better than this. But this is something that I continue to tell you guys. The people who are getting married are not the good people. They're not good people. A lot of people who are getting married, a lot of these people who are dating, a lot of these people who are voting, A lot of these people who will have the power to, or have some way to pull strings to ruin civilization as we see it, or as it is, man, listen, ain't no way. Ain't no goddamn way. Let's look at some of these comments. The Be Mean to Men crowd severely underestimates how much men hold their tongue with them. This is not a game you want to play. Man hating only works on emasculated men. The funny thing is she's going to be the one who's ultimately suffering when she's unhappy and miserable as fuck because she married a dude who she's not attracted to and can't get away. Man, she's just going to cheat. What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure somebody in the comments said all she's going to do is cheat. One major part that is missed, females like this aren't even relationship material. Heck, not even great sex is guaranteed with scum like her. So, man, that's even funnier. You run into a chick who sounds freaky, got a banging body, but she's terrible at sex. That's funny. So when they get a simp with no self-respect, misery is guaranteed to everyone around her. Yep, eventually the guy who apparently seems like a spineless loser will continue to be a loser to the point she hates it and leaves. Well, I guess no one corrected him on this because again, she's not attracted to this guy. The way that she talks, when a woman's attracted to you, listen, when a woman is attracted to you, they're not going to risk at all. They're on their best fucking behavior. They're not sitting there posting content like this. I used to look down on the passport bros, but things really are that rough nowadays, aren't they? Same. She's a marriage misandry influencer. The divorce is going to hit like crazy when he gets sick of their relationship being public. He's going to become 45 and realize he despises her. Probably, if it hasn't already happened. But here's the deal. She got 2 kids with him. This was probably the plan. Many guys I'm pretty sure somebody said something, right? He's going to lose his money home in a divorce, though. Yep, see? That's the issue. Women have 100% of the leverage, especially with kids. He's at work talking about it's cheaper to keep her. And you know what? There's a lot of dudes that end up just like that. He's not leaving, and you know how much he'll lose doing something like that. His best bet is to get a girlfriend 10 years younger than his wife to fuck. He's a nerd. He won't. He basically gonna become Kevin Spacey in American Beauty. Misery loves company. She wants other women to support her idiotic behavior because she's unhappy. She thought her lighter complexion would get her pretty privilege, when in reality she's a solid 4. She's mad because she settled when her type didn't fall for her lame ass. Whole lame See, this is another thing, right? So the dudes that she's talking about in the past that she fucked, she said it was a type that she was consistently fucking. Those are the guys that she wanted. And even then, she disrespected those guys talking about wearing slides and dirty socks. Here's the funny thing. I guarantee you, the wearing the slides and dirty socks, I'm pretty sure it was multiple dudes fucking her that was wearing slides. But the dirty socks comment was probably one fucking dude that has her heart that didn't take her. Guarantee it. If you really think that she was really just fucking multiple dudes wearing dirty socks, nah. Nope. I don't understand how a guy can see his wife talk like this and be like, yeah, that's my girl. If he were to beat her black and blue, I don't think he should get any trouble. No, what the fuck, dude? No. If he were to beat her black and blue, I don't think he should get in any trouble. What the fuck is wrong with you? The loudest demographic of women are literally the least to get married and are the loudest to want to give relationship advice. She is poisoning women's minds and no doubt destroying families and family prospects. She must be stopped by any means necessary. There are younger women out there plotting on her ass after seeing these videos she is doing. Her husband is a pediatrician pulling down G's. That's crazy. It sounds like the guy ain't got the balls to tell her about herself. I'll be quick to let her know that she's acting like one and I still got a girl, so whatever, man. We need to start taking better care of each other and taking better care of ourselves, man. I'm blessed to be with a woman with some sense. See, and it's funny because then these are the type of women, right, that will sit there and do all of this shit and then got the nerve when you don't want to date them or you call them out on their bullshit when you see it coming from a mile away. Right? Oh man, she know her dude don't got socials or friends or may never find out. Misandrous babble. This is flat out Jezebel with extra Delilah. Yeah, he's not making it out of this one alive, unfortunately. Again, just, man, just, what do you even say about this, man? Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.